Hi, welcome to the Gemara on Tet Zayin Amud Bet. We're starting 21 lines up from the bottom of the Amud. This is a review video for Unit 3, sheet number 11. It's material that you covered in Chavruta and was presented by Chavruta groups in class. Ve'et Parshat Zatzav V'Gomer Aser Pnei Haman. Returning to our discussion, or continuing our discussion of Megillah Esther, it mentions the names of the 10 sons of Haman. Amarav Ada Min Yafo. Aser Pnei Haman. Ve'aseret, so the ten names of the sons of Haman. Ve'aseret tzarich lemimrinu b'neshima achat. And these ten names need to be said all in one breath. They need to all, including the word aseret, right? That comes right before. They need to all be said all in one breath when the reader is reading it. He or she can't take breaths in between. My timer, what's the reason? Kulhu bahari hadari nafku nishmatahu. They all together lost their lives. I think Rashi emphasizes this here. Yeah, Aser Pnei Haman v'Aseret. So the words Aser Pnei Haman and the 10 names, or the 10 names and the word Aseret. Haskarat shmotan v'teva hasmucha achrehan. Klamar nishmatan naflu ke'achad. To sort of show that their breath all came out at the same time, right? They all died as one. Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Vav devaizata tzarich lemimtzacha bezekifa, kemordia delivrot. The vav of vaizata, which is one of the names of the sons of Haman, has to be written has to be written longer. Lemimtzacha has to be lengthened to be long and straight. But Kimordaya de Librot, like a pole that's used in a river called Librot. So, like a pole that's used to kind of, paddle in that river. My timer, what's the reason? Kulhu b'chad zakifa is zakifu. Because they all sort of stood in one line, or hanged on one pole, one on top of the other. It was all one gallows. So for that reason, we write the Vav of Vaizata longer. Amar Rabbi Chanina bar Papa, Darash Rabbi Shila ish Kfar Timrata, Kol hashirot kula nichtavot ariach al gabe levena, v'levena al gabe ariach. Chutz mishira zo u'malchei Knan. So all of the songs in the Torah are written, literally it means a half brick on top of a whole brick. So they're written spaced out in the Torah, and you have like a piece of text, let's say sort of isolated in the middle, like as though you'd centered a piece of text, and on the next line you have a piece of text on either side of it, but nothing directly under it. And then the lines alternate that way. So it looks different in the Torah when you write a shirah. This is considered a shirah because it's a list of, it's in praise of God for bringing down our enemies. So all shirot are written that way. Every time it has a shirah, except for this one and the kings of Canaan, which is a list in Yehoshua. She'ariach al gabe ariach, v'levena al gabe levena, which are the opposite. It's the small brick on top of the small brick and the big brick on top of the big brick. So what you have is like a little piece of text and then a big break and then a little piece of text. And the next line also is a little piece of text, big break, little piece of text. My timer, what's the reason? Shelo tehetz kumal lemapolatan. So Rashi explains. So this means they won't ever have a revival. They won't ever be lifted up from their downfall. And Rashi explains that this means there's sort of nothing. There's nothing there to catch them. Literally, they can't widen their steps underneath. There's like sort of nothing to grab onto. The space is so much wider than the piece of text that there's nothing for it to hold on to, and it symbolizes their total and complete downfall. So this is towards the end of the Megillah. Achashverosh is telling Esther about the victory that the Jews have won, how many people they've killed, because remember they were given permission to fight. Amar Rabbi Abahu, melamed sheba malach v'setro al piv. This teaches that when the king was speaking to her, an angel came and hit him on his mouth, because presumably he was about to say bad things about the Jews, like angry that they killed so many people, but God had an angel come hit him on his mouth, so he didn't. Ubevoa lifnei hamelech amari im hasefer. This is again in that conversation between Esther and Achashverosh. When she came before the king, she said, with this scroll, Amar, or Amar question mark, Amrami ba'ilei. Why does it say Amar? It should say Amra. We're talking about Esther. She says in the feminine. Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Amra lo Yomar b'peh ma shekatuv b'sefer. She said to him, it should be said out loud that which is written in the book, meaning the future reader should read the Megillah from that which is written. Divrei shalom ve'emet, words of peace and truth. That's what's described as being in the scroll that Esther and Mordechai write. Amar Rabbi Tanchum ve'amri la Amar Rabbi Asi. So it was either Rabbi Tanchum or Rabbi Asi who said, Melamed shetzricha sharchut ka'amita shel Torah. This teaches you that the way in which the Megillah is written has to be etched. It has to be sort of inscribed in the parchment, just the way a Torah scroll does. It has to. That's the reference of emet. It has to be written kind of like a Torah scroll. Uma amar Esther kayam. The words of Esther were upheld, or the word of Esther was upheld. Ma'amar Esther in divrei tzomot lo. So the words of Esther, yes, that has to be done, but divrei tzomot lo. But the fast not, meaning was it just, that's question mark exclamation point, was it just Esther's words that had to be remembered and not the fasting, like she alone, as though she alone brought about the miracle? That's not what happened. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, divrei hatzomot uma amar Esther kayam. You may have prim ha'ela. So you have to kind of read the verses all together, the verse before and this verse. Divrei hatzomot uma amar Esther. Kiyam divrei ha'prim ha'ela. So the fast and Esther's words, all that together is what causes Purim, and so all that together is what gets remembered. So this is actually all from Megillah. And now we have another verse from Megillah. Oh no, this is also from Megillah. Ki Mordechai Yehudi Mishneh L'Melech Achashverosh v'Gadol HaYehudim v'Ratzui L'Rov Echav. So this is, again, continuing in the Megillah's description of when things get really good for them. So Mordechai becomes second in command to the king, and he's great among the Jews, and most of his brothers like him. L'Rov Echav v'lo l'chol echav. It says that most of them did, but not everybody. Melamed shepirshu mimenu miktzat Sanhedrin. This teaches us that some of the members of the Sanhedrin sort of left him, parted ways with him. They didn't want to be associated with him anymore. And Rashi explains this. Because he kind of left Torah learning behind and takes a political appointment. He no longer has the same kind of dedication to Torah, and so not everyone in the Sanhedrin agreed with that decision. Amar Rav Yosef, Gadol Talmud Torah yoter mehatzalat nefashot. Learning Torah is greater than saving lives. T'meikara chashiv le'Mordechai batar arba, u'levasof batar chamisha. So Talmud Torah is greater than saving lives because originally Mordechai gets counted after 4 on a list, so 5th on a list, and afterwards he gets counted after 5, meaning he gets counted 6th. That's sort of a way of saying he gets demoted. Mi'ikara, initially, Ktiv, it says in Ezra, Asher Ba'u Im Zerubbabel, Yeshua Nehemiah Saraya Ra'alia Mordechai Balshan. So you can see Mordechai's placement in that list. Ulevasof Ktiv, and then later on it says in Nehemiah, Haba'im Im Zerubbabel, Yeshua Nehemiah Ezra Ra'amia Nachmani Mordechai Balshan. So he gets bumped a little bit in the list. So the idea is he gets demoted because he wasn't actively involved in Torah learning. Rashi explains the list to you, that one is Bimei Korah Sha'ala Im Zerubbabel Min HaGolah. Zerubbabel came back from the diaspora, Mordechai Imo, and Mordechai's with him, and he gets counted. Okay, and then the count shifts. B'intayim yerad mechashivato etzel chachamim. This is the important part. In the interim, his stature had gone down with the other chachamim. He wasn't considered as important again because he left behind the study of Torah. Amar Rav v'item Rav Shmuel bar Marta, Gadol Talmud Torah yoter mibinyan Beit Hamikdash, shekol zman shebaruch ben Neriah kiyam lo hinichu Ezra va'ala. So more about Talmud Torah. Talmud Torah is greater than building the Beit Hamikdash. It's a greater thing to be involved in. And the proof is that the whole time that Baruch ben Neriah, who was Ezra's teacher of Torah, was still alive, Ezra wouldn't leave him to go to Eretz Yisrael. So that proves that it's more important to learn Torah than to go back and build the Beit Hamikdash. Okay, we'll stop there. That's the end of sheet number 11.